good will be. We saw.
It's still McBride from Freeman as they come into McLean's. Now Freeman's challenging on the inside. McBride took that one too wide, and now they're Riley Baker, number 2 in the game. And McBride hit him.
Maybe you shouldn't enter races above your class.
What are you doing? Slumming?
Tonight at 11:05, David Essex stars in our drive-in movie, Silver Dream Racer.
That's not a bike. That's a work of art.
Silver Dream Racer, our drive-in movie tonight at 11:05.
You have the power to help a lot of people live better lives this year.
And in future years, too. Support the ITV Telethon. Every single pound makes a difference.
Next this evening on LWT, we join ITN for today's World News.
When you open an account at NatWest, what will you get? At NatWest, you get more branches than any other bank. You get branches that are open on Saturdays. You get free banking if you stay in credit. And you get more 24-hour cash machines than any other bank. When you want your money at your fingertips, press for action.
Chessington World of Adventures.
Here comes the Lilt man. Lilt. Here comes the Lilt man. Lilt. Lilt with a totally tropical taste. Pineapple and grapefruit. Lilt. Ah, the sun is bright. Lilt. And the sand is white. Lilt with a totally tropical taste. With a totally tropical taste. Lilt.
In the world of finance, one person can hold little sway. But when thousands come together, they become a force to be reckoned with. Over 1.5 million people are with Standard Life, making it one of the largest mutual life assurance companies in Europe. Being a mutual company means Standard Life has no shareholders to pay. Just the people who entrust their pensions, savings plans and unit trusts to our experts. Standard Life. We're better off together.
When you want the Jewson lot, we'll give it to you Jewson quick.
Jewson?
If you're watching TV without a license, we know exactly where to find you. Wherever you are. Don't get caught. Get a TV license.
You can't take anything away from Allinson's wholemeal. The bread, we now take it out. Now take it out.
I bet he drinks Carling Black Label. Oh, the next bloke through that door.
Watch out. Gives a pint of aftershave. Whew.
Straight glasser?
Your best bet for a fuller flavour.
After 10 with Tarbuck, you'll see the best new comedy in this brand new series. International performers and stars with their own special style. After 10 with Tarbuck, you'll see the sporting greats. After 10 with Tarbuck, there's great music for Saturday nights. Next weekend, Tammy Wynette. And tonight, the sensational Tom Jones. See him after 10 with Tarbuck, 10:20 tonight, LWT.
You're watching LWT. Now today's international news from ITN with Sue Carpenter.
The news from ITN.
I want your man to drop me somewhere and then just to leave me. Okay.
Terry Waite hours before his kidnap, an exclusive report. The surgeon defends the brain cell transplants. Rioting after PLO chief's assassination, 14 die. And Britain's told, ban Zola or we ban you. Good evening. Terry Waite was warned that his life was in danger just a short time before he was kidnapped, according to a secretly taped conversation he had with the British consul in Beirut. Terry Waite was unaware that he was being bugged. ITN now has access to those recordings, which were made only days before his disappearance. They reveal that the British consul, Frank Gallagher, warned him about Foreign Office intelligence which suggested his life was in jeopardy. The warning was apparently ignored. The full story is in tomorrow's Sunday Express, who obtained the tapes after they were smuggled out of Beirut.
All of Terry Waite's missions in Beirut combined high-profile activity and secret negotiations. Knowing that, and given that as his mission began in January last year, a suspected Lebanese terrorist had just been picked up in West Germany, the Foreign Office confirmed tonight that they had reinforced, as you'll hear, their previous warning to Mr. Waite about his safety through the British consul in Beirut, who used Latin as a sort of code to introduce himself. Mr. Gallagher then read the warning message from London and continued. Despite the warnings, the tape, the result of a bug on Mr. Waite's phone here at the Riviera Hotel in Beirut, reveals that he went ahead with secret and dangerous meetings, leaving his official Lebanese minders behind.
I want your man to drop me somewhere and then just to leave me. Okay. He'll just have to do that.
You want Saeed?
Yes. Can I tell him just to leave me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I will send
Don't
him.
come round. Just tell him that he's to drop me somewhere and then leave me.
Okay.
At ITN tonight, Terry's brother David Waite listened to the tapes.
David Waite, can I ask you, is that Terry Waite?
Yes, it is. That's my brother's voice. It's a reminder that he has been missing for as long as he has. On the other hand, I think we are quietly confident that in the fullness of time we will see him back.
David Waite says during the present hijack, the family's worries have increased, but not to the point of giving up their belief that Terry Waite will, in the end, be released.
The doctor who carried out Britain's first brain cell transplant has tonight defended his use of an aborted human fetus. Cells from the fetus were implanted in patients suffering from Parkinson's disease. Tonight, MPs are demanding clear government guidelines on the treatment, which has been banned in America.
Professor Edward Hitchcock carried out the transplants using cells from a fetus aborted earlier this year and kept in a tissue bank. Parkinson's disease causes a severe loss of body coordination, but surgery may provide an answer. Fetal cells are transplanted into the brain of the sufferer. The new cells produce a chemical called dopamine, vital for proper coordination. But anti-abortionists say it's immoral.
We oppose to this type of research using human embryos because it is nothing short of human vivisection. It is an affront to the humanity of the unborn child. It further denies the dignity and right to life which should be accorded to all children from fertilisation onward.
Professor Hitchcock rejects that argument.
But I don't understand why they should be against this operation. It's not asking that abortions be done to provide the tissue at all. It's simply using tissue that's been received by an abortion. So I understand how they feel, but I think I would say to them that this isn't in any way condoning abortion. It has no statement on abortion. It is simply that the abortion material is there and is being used.
The operation has also been carried out in Sweden and Mexico, but plans to do the same in America were banned only yesterday. Here, the British Medical Association will soon publish ethical guidelines. They're expected to insist that women are informed of what will happen to the fetus, something that did not happen in this case, and something Professor Hitchcock opposes.
I would put it to you that it seems very inhumane, actually, to ask a mother who's undergoing an abortion to give permission for the tissue to be used. I don't think really it's such a traumatic and emotional experience that it seems to me quite inhumane, and to most of my colleagues.
The hopes of Parkinson's sufferers will obviously rise, but tonight the Parkinson's Disease Society said although any advance in treatment is good news, it's much too early to talk in terms of a cure.
Israeli troops have shot dead 14 Palestinians in riots sparked by the assassination of a top PLO commander. Nearly 100 were injured in the bloodiest demonstrations yet in Israel's occupied territories. Abu Jihad, Yasser Arafat's deputy, was shot in a commando-style raid on his home in Tunisia. The PLO blame an Israeli hit squad for the attack.
The reaction among Palestinians on the West Bank and Gaza was swift and violent. So too that of the Israeli army. The result was a day of bloodshed and killing, which marks a new milestone in this uprising, after a week of relative quiet. There were more dead and more wounded than on any day since this began 4 months ago. Within hours of Abu Jihad's killing, thousands of Palestinians demonstrated. They paraded mock coffins through the main towns of the occupied territories. And in Gaza, where Abu Jihad once lived and where his standing was as high as Yasser Arafat's, religious leaders called for holy war. Familiar images these may be after so many weeks of violence, but behind today's mayhem lay the belief of Palestinians that the Israelis had murdered the PLO leader. No matter that the Israelis denied that, neither side believes the other anymore.
Certainly, this is going to be the case, that the Palestinians, wherever they are, suspect that Israel is behind this act.
Tonight, an Israeli television commentator didn't rule out Israeli involvement. Indeed, he compared the attack in Tunis to raids the Israeli Secret Service had carried out elsewhere abroad. As so often before, the truth may never be known. But the truth no longer seems to matter on the West Bank and Gaza. What counts is that after today, there are more martyrs for the cause. David Smith, ITN, Jerusalem.
The man whose death sparked off today's violence, Abu Jihad, was the PLO leader responsible for organising Palestinian action in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. His home was in Tunis, where he was hit by about 70 bullets early this morning in front of his wife and daughter. Abu Jihad, which means father of the Holy War, was the PLO's on-the-ground military commander. He was 52. He grew up in the Gaza Strip before founding the mainstream PLO movement with Arafat in the early 60s. He became deputy commander of the PLO, and he led Palestinian resistance to the 1982 Israeli invasion of southern Lebanon. He was also behind several attacks inside Israel, including the recent hang glider raids. The PLO leader Yasser Arafat is said to be shocked at the killing of Abu Jihad, which means the organisation has lost one of its most effective operators.
The hijackers of the Kuwait jumbo jet are again demanding fuel so they can fly out of Algeria. They've also repeated their threat to blow up the aircraft.
We would like to have a press conference. After 1 hour, we need one Algerian journalist and 2 foreign journalists only.
The voice of a hijacker. The Algerians agreed and 3 reporters made their way across the tarmac to the aircraft. When they reached the top of the steps, a hooded hijacker jumped down to body search them. Then they were told to kneel down, and for 15 minutes the hijacker spoke to them in Arabic. When it was over, they returned to repeat the grim message.
After the intransigence of Kuwait, we are asking our Algerian brothers to fill the airplane with fuel, because we will liquidate our account with Kuwait elsewhere. And we don't want to have the massacre in a friendly country.
So the hijackers are threatening to massacre the hostages somewhere else. The aircraft has been given small amounts of fuel to maintain onboard services, but it's obviously not enough for the hijackers' next move. Simon Cole, ITN, Algiers.
Here, police are hunting the killer of a 72-year-old widow found stabbed to death in her home in Berkshire. Mrs. Maria Souchelet was stabbed 9 times in the head in what police called a ferocious attack. Desi O'Hare, the Irish terrorist serving a 40-year sentence for kidnap, has been moved to an isolation wing at Portlaoise Jail in the Irish Republic after smashing up his cell. The incident came as Irish prison officers began an all-out strike over new working arrangements. More than 1,000 police officers, backed by troops, are now running the country's 11 prisons. The veteran North East comedian Bobby Thompson has died only a week after his first big break on television. He was 76. He was taken to hospital last week, just after his first national TV show.
Mind, I thought I was out of debt last Monday morning. There's a knock at the door, I wasn't at work. I wasn't clever. Mr. Thompson in? I says, I'm Mr. Thompson. He says, I'm from Littlewoods. I says, God bless you. I've won the treble chance. He says, no, your wife's up for shoplifting.
The comedian Bobby Thompson, who died today. Zola Budd's coach has accused athletics officials of blackmail after they called for her suspension today. That, and all the sport now, from Mark Austin.
British athletics is tonight threatened with isolation from world sport, including the Olympics, over the Zola Budd affair. The International Athletics Federation has suspended Budd for a month and called on the British Athletics Board to ban her for a year. The controversy which has plagued Zola Budd for 4 years has now plunged British athletics into crisis. The International Federation say Budd's links with South Africa undermined their fight against apartheid. They criticised the British board and called on it to ban Budd for 12 months. That would put her out of the Olympics.
On the information which it presently has, and based on her own admissions, it appears to the Council that Miss Budd, at the very least, has been in breach of the spirit of the rules of the IAAF.
If Budd is not suspended, Britain could be kicked out of the federation, which would mean no British athletes could compete anywhere in the world. The very least would be an Olympic boycott.
It must be very clear that for Africa it's not possible to have Miss Budd in the Olympics.
Budd didn't attend today's meeting, staying instead at her Guildford home. Her coach said it was a sad day.
Sometimes somebody's got to stand up to what is in fact blackmail and say no more of this. Because it will continue, believe me. I mean, Zola Budd is just one small pawn in this whole equation. She's not the Afghanistan war, and she's not a big issue. She's just one small human being caught in the middle. But I do believe that if people go on giving in to the threat of boycotts, then there will be just more and more threats, and they will get more and more bizarre.
British officials who have backed Budd all along are facing a real dilemma. Sacrifice her or face the unimaginable prospect of British athletes being banned from the Olympics. Liverpool and Wimbledon both lost at Wembley today. They quietly went out of the Football League's centenary tournament in the first round. Tonight, though, the league themselves were claiming victory. Their much criticised competition has attracted more than 41,000 spectators.
All the overkill of American football came to Wembley, but synthetic cheerleaders weren't enough to create a real cup final atmosphere. And with the 2 real cup finalists making an early exit, the celebration was in some danger of turning into a wake. But that was when Tranmere Rovers took to the field. For almost 100 years, the club had never been near the place. Today, the 4th Division journeymen performed like champions. John Morrissey hit the first against Newcastle, and the next half hour was a nightmare for the Tyneside team. Mungle was only stopped by the crudest of tackles. Tranmere's Muir made it 2. The scoreboard went wild, and with almost all the crowd now on their side, Tranmere even kept out a Newcastle penalty. At the end, it was like they'd won the real thing. Tomorrow, they can live out their fantasy once again when they walk out for the semi-final. Peter Staunton, ITN Sport, Wembley.
In Scotland, Hearts' Gary Mackay hit the goal which blocked Celtic's bid to take the title. They went down 2-1 at Tynecastle and will have to wait another week at least to secure their 6th championship. The cricket season began today with the traditional MCC versus Champion County match at Lord's. It wasn't a prompt start though. Almost inevitably the rain arrived and the first message from Lord's new electronic scoreboard was a gloomy one. When play did begin nearly 3 hours late, Agnew came up against the Nottinghamshire openers Broad and Robinson. The England pair put on 110 for the first wicket. Robinson chalked up a first day 50. Williams bowled broad round his legs for 49. At the close, knots were 125 for 1.
And that's it. Good night.
The unions are on the march again, and the government wants more reforms. But do the unions have any role in the enterprise culture? Watch Weekend World, live tomorrow at noon on ITV.
Hello. Well, for those taking part in the marathon tomorrow, it'll be a fine day, but becoming quite hot. The rest of tonight will continue cloudy with some spots of drizzle in places. Do take care if you're going to be driving. It's misty along the hills and coasts. It'll stay very mild tonight with temperatures at 10 Celsius, 50 Fahrenheit, and the winds from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Well, this time last week we had temperatures below average. This weekend temperatures are more like what we'd expect next month, and tomorrow's temperatures will be no exception. Most of the day will stay dry. There will be quite a lot of cloud, but some sunny intervals as well. Temperatures will be around 13 Celsius, 55 Fahrenheit during the morning, but getting up to around 17 Celsius, 63 Fahrenheit in the afternoon. Winds still from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And there will be some rain tomorrow as well, but probably not until after dark. We'll be back tomorrow just before 1. We'll see you then. Good night.
Excuse me, we want to invest in Far Eastern Electronics. Can you tell us where to go?
Oh. Via Holborn.
Via Holborn?
Via Holborn.
Wake up! Which way for aerospace?
It's a good area for investment, you see.
Aerospace? Straight to Holborn.
Yeah, hello. I'm looking for a good way into Australian mining. Via Holborn.
If you've a lump sum and you want to invest in the best of the world markets, via unit trusts, via life assurance, or via pensions, the surer way to the city is via Holborn. Prudential Holborn.
Occasionally, there comes an experience so magical. There is only one thing you can do. Taste it. Nothing has the special magic of the Toblerone taste. Toblerone, taste the magic.
Debbie, phone. Debbie!
Walton Mouldings. I see. Just putting you through.
Hello, Walton here. Yeah. 20,000. Pardon? Sure, no problem. Okay, I'll be in touch. Barclays? Robert Edwards, please. Bob, it's Richard. I need to talk to you about a loan for a new machine. Can you come over?
Barclays. For anything from a flexible business loan to a commercial mortgage, talk to us.
Great. When you need the money, just let us know.
Sunday at 7:45, the continuing story of Beaufort and Savage, gentlemen and players, rivals for power and for passion.
Partner problems?
More ways than one. I was just thinking perhaps you and I might have a chance to get together.
Drink. It'll improve your temper.
There's nothing wrong with my temper.
Yeah, this is Mike Savage.
Gentlemen and players will rival return to revenge Sunday 7:45 LWT.
What a wonderful audience here, and hello at home, hi y'all, and welcome to my very first late night show for years. It's a show called After 10 with Tarbuck, and I'll be bringing you show business legends and some of my own sporting heroes, and we'll have a lot of laughs, I hope, a few songs and a little chat like tonight. Let's look at the audience here. Good evening, how are you all here? Oh, fine. Little blonde lady, where are you from?
Leeds.
From Leeds? Oh, you've come a long way. Oh, I'd go up there and work up there. Let's have a look here. How are you at the back there? You all right? Is that the wife? Oh, good. Novelty night. And how are you, though? All right. Yeah, good. Now, tell me the truth. Is she a good cook? Yeah, yeah. You diet? No, you don't need to. You're not like me. Do you diet down here? No, not you, skinny. Go. I'm on one of those high-fibre diets, folks. I've lost 15 friends. And, you know, I'll tell you, have you noticed how all the best cooks are men? Do you all agree? No. Oh, yes, they are. Fair enough, I'll name them. There's Colonel Sanders, Captain Birdseye, Mr. Kipling. Now, my mother's cooking was the best. The old lady, God bless her, she was terrific. When I came home from school and she was in the back kitchen with one stocking on, I thought, oh, great, steam pudding. And, you know, I tell you that, because when I was a little boy, I used to love soldiers with me boiled eggs. I mean, anyone like them here? Oh, yes, I mean, I love things like that. And if she couldn't afford a loaf, she used to tell me the soldiers had been posted abroad. And, Cliff Richard, dear, lovely Cliff. Hi, Jim. Cliff here. He likes soldiers. They're Salvation Army soldiers, he has. And, Boy George's soldiers are sailors. And, you know, well, he's unbelievable, Boy George. He said he'd rather have a cup of tea than sex. Must know some of the birds I know. No, anyway. But, I mean, if it's not food, it's drink. You drink too much, what do you get? A touch of the DTs. Dennis Thatcher's. Now, Maggie's just come back from Turkey. They said to her at Heathrow, they said, Mrs. Thatcher, have you anything to declare? She said, yes, 6 bottles of gin. They said, where is it? She said, in Dennis. Now, do you know, I went to a yuppie party last night here in London. I mean, real yuppies. They played Spin the Carafe, and, that's an upmarket joke. You see, there's a yuppie church near where I live. It's called Our Lady of the Filofax, and, for communion, the priest serves muesli wafers, and I'm not like that. I mean, I tried a doner kebab. Have you ever had those? God, blimey, the only fibre in them comes from the assistant sleeve. You see? Yes, I'm very lucky where I live. There's a Chinese takeaway, an Indian takeaway, and there's an Irish bring it back. And, now, I had a Chinese meal there, and I do like the Chinese restaurants, and the place was Cantonese. The meat was Pekingese, and the waiter said, would you like a starter? I said, yes. Well, he took a gun out, he went, ready, steady, go. You see, I love Chinese cooking because I can go in the restaurant now. I've had so many Chinese meals over the years. I can speak in their language now when I'm ordering the food. I go, 1, 3, 7, Oh, you want? I was in there, they said, what do you want? They all say that to you, don't they? Oh, what do you want? I said, if I have 38, 24, 36. He sends his daughter out. Now, do you know, I have been last week in London's only authentic Cockney Chinese restaurant. It's called Me Old China. Now, I asked for prawn crackers, and I forgot about the rhyming slang. Now, well, I can't tell you what they gave me, I mean, but that fella's nuts. Now, anyway, the thing is, Freddie Starr was at the next table, dear, simple, happy Freddie. He said to the wine waiter, what goes with hamster? And, the manager came up, he said, Mr. Tarbuck, we've got a surprise for you. Saw your mince. I said, nonsense, it was just a little swagger. And I had some bad snails. Have you ever heard they were bad? It took me 4 hours to walk to the loo. Now, do you know, there's so much information about your food on supermarket shelves these days. I mean, the ingredients, there's the fridge and freezer instructions, how to cook it, how to serve it, how to reserve it, how to reheat it. Sell by Thursday, eat by Friday. Best before April. Okay till May. Disgusting after June. Who needs libraries? You can read for hours in Tesco's. One food you can trust is the British Rail pork pie, am I right? Yes. That doesn't contain a stabiliser. It is a stabiliser. Do you remember that British Rail train, the one that used to tilt round the bends? Well, they just got 2 pork pies, put one either side, straight as you like. And now British Rail have found a way to ensure that the corners of the cheese sandwiches don't turn up. And let me tell you, those rivets are very nice to chew. Yeah. Now, while I'm on about supermarkets, another thing, and I must speak to all the ladies in here. For God's sake, when are you going to learn to drive those trolleys properly? You shower of silly baskets. I'm telling you, I've got in there. Well, there was a very nasty accident in Marks and Spencer's the other day, right between the tin soups and the fruit and veg. I know, because I crushed my King Edwards. Now, I'm telling you, why is it when you get to that checkout thing at the end, out of 500 cans of baked beans, you've chosen the one without the price on it? And they're bright. They are brains of Britons, the girls on the till. Oh, you'll have to wait while I get the assistant and she rings the bell. Bing! And you stood there. You've made 30 enemies. The cashier, the bird on the till, and the 30 women in the queue behind you all going potty. And if you looked in Marks and those stores lately, the pets eat better than us, all of them. You see what you can get for your moggy? Turkey, with rabbit, with salmon, all these cat foods, and not one of them with mouse. And it's the same with dog food. You must have seen the tins. It contains chicken, contains ox heart, contains lamb. What I want to know is, where is the postman's leg? Now, anyway, the thing is, I've got a lovely lady who lives opposite me. No, listen to this. She's a spinster, a Miss Freeman now. She's a very, very charming lady. She phoned me at 12:20 the other night. She said, "Oh, Mr. Tarbuck, my doggies are misbehaving." I said, "What the hell's going on?" I said, "It's 12:20. She said, No. The men doggies running round in circles and jumping on the lady dog. I said, "Sling a bucket of water over them." "Oh, no. She said, "I've tried that. It doesn't work." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what to do. Put the receiver back on the phone, stick it down by the dogs, and I'll call you back. And the shock of the phone going will stop them." She said, "Do you think it'll work?" I said, "It did with me 5 minutes ago." Be a great audience. Well, right now I'd like you to meet my first legend of the series, and he is a legend, and he's a British international superstar. One of the most exciting performers around today. So much so that the late, great Elvis Presley went to see him in concert in Hawaii, enjoyed it so much, and he went back to live performing himself. Now, this guy's flown in specially for tonight's show. I do appreciate that. He's a great friend. He's a very exciting man. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Jones.
Like candy on a shelf. You want to taste and help yourself. The sweetest things are there for you. Help yourself, take a few. That's what I want you to do. We always told repeatedly, the very best in life is free. So if you want to prove it's true, baby, I'm telling you, this is what you should do. Just help yourself to my lips, to my arms, just say the word and they are yours. Just help yourself to love. In my heart, your smile has opened up the door. The greatest wealth that exists in the world can never find what I can give. So help yourself to my lips, to my arms, and then let's really start to live. Oh, yeah! My heart has love enough for two. More than enough for me and you. I'm rich with love, a millionaire. I've so much, it's unfair. Why don't you take a share? Just help yourself to my lips, to my arms, just say the word and there you are. Just help yourself to love. In my heart, your smile has opened up the door. The greatest wealth that exists in the world can never find what I can give. So help yourself to my lips, to my arms, and then let's really start to live.
Come down, sir. Welcome home. Well, I know you've flown in specially for the show, and I really do appreciate it, because you've got to get back to the States to work all over the place there, huh?
That's right, yeah, we go back tomorrow. We came in yesterday, we go back tomorrow.
And everything's going well, Putty?
Oh, lovely.
Now, I've got a few messages. Lottie Grotty said hello to you. Yes, she has to be remembered. And,
lovely, yes.
God bless her. Now, we're going to see you later on in the show.
Yes.
Which is great, singing some of your all-time great songs. But I'd like you to listen to a new comedian. Now, he sounds as though he's from Wales, Tom, but actually he isn't. He's from Essex, and he's been a big success on Friday Night Live, so we're going to brighten up this Saturday night. There's a great young comic called Lee Evans.
Just get my breath, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, before I start, a lot of people say to me, Lee. I say, what? What's my name, innit? I mean, you would say what? I said, what? They say, you're a schizophrenic. They say, you're mad. I say, what do you mean? They say, it's true. You've got something inside you trying to get out. You all got a split personality. I say, well, you had I said something inside me. Get out of it. Get out of here! It's all right, I'm fine. It's all working fine. I mean, it all adds to it, doesn't it? It all adds to it. Do you like my suit? Yeah. Oh, new suit. I'm trying to sort of get back to nature, do you know what I mean, with my clothing. I am. Like my jacket is horsehair lined. It is. New jacket. Trouble is, I tore a sleeve off of it last week. I had to have it shot. I mean, have a look at that. Can you see my shoes? Can you see them? New shoes. New out in the shops. Octopus skin shoes they are. Hey, now look. I can walk up walls, they're brilliant. I done all the light fittings here tonight. I did, I got a lot. I did, that's what I did. Changing the bulbs. Oh, no, but it's so good to be. I mean, because television is so important now. I mean, you watch television, you observe things. I mean, television now, the amount of money they spend on advertising nowadays. They spend a fortune, like the milk tray advert. Have you seen that? Where the bloke dives off a cliff, has fights with sharks, swings on ropes. But look, I've noticed something about that advert. Ever seen the woman? It's been going on for years, isn't it? Every single year, box of chocolates, and he's off. Next advert we'll see her, right? You swing on a rope, up to the veranda, undo the curtain, and there she'll be, 6 foot by 6 foot, with Atlee going like that. More chocolates! Come here! Yeah. It's true, I mean, it's true, it's just things, I mean, Dynasty. You ever watch Dynasty? You ever watch that? It's rubbish. It's like a dream, you know what I mean? Because I mean, the worst thing about that programme is when they wake up in the morning. Right? Blake and Crystal, when they wake up, because, like, Crystal will wake up like this. And she looks fantastic. She's got all her makeup on, pure white teeth are hanging everywhere. All her hair's brushed back, she looks brilliant. And then Blake wakes up by her side like that. And he looks fantastic as well. He's got makeup on, teeth hanging everywhere, hair brushed back in, and they both look brilliant. And then Crystal turns to Blake and says, I love you, Blake. Kiss me. And they kiss. And they go like that. Do you ever wake up like that in the morning? You wake up. Is this Earth? And then she wakes up by your side like that. a bag of chips. And then she turns to you and says, kiss me. And you say, oh, I smell. It's true, everybody smells in the morning. You do not wake up like that. Because I know it's that I started living with this girl, you know, and you start to notice things when you start to live together. I mean, like, think of it, especially in the morning. That is the time to catch each other out. It's true, because, like, when a woman wakes up in the morning, a woman will go like this. And they go over to the dressing table. And women always make nice noises in the morning. They walk over to the dressing table and they go like that. Totally different for a man. A man will go like that. Strange. It's just a difference, you know, when you start living with a girl, because it's completely different when you're courting and everything. Do you know, when you start to do this thing? And arguing as well, arguing. Because, like, when a man argues, he likes to get out of his system. Yo, no, you, me, yo. They go like that, don't they? But women like to hold all that back. Go on. You see, because women like to use a weapon. Yeah, because when the bloke's, it's all over with the bloke. He sits in the chair, starts reading the paper. It's all over. And then the woman will come in with her weapon. It's the Hoover. It's true, and then it starts all over again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been a wonderful audience. Thank you very much indeed for having me. Those who haven't had me, I'm just around the back there. Thank you very much indeed. Very nice of you. Thank you.
Tremendous. Enjoy that. How about that?
Thanks very much.
Yes, great. Well done. Hey. Well, Lee, did you enjoy that?
I did very much, yeah.
And how old are you now?
24.
24, eh? What is to be 24 and getting a few laughs? Good. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you.
And I hope your career goes from strength to strength.
That's very
Been
nice.
love having you on the show. We're going to take the break now for a couple of minutes. We'll be back with Battling Barry McGuigan, a magician with a difference, and of course more from Tom Jones. And what about this young fella? See you in a couple of minutes. Well done. Proud of you. Well done.